went to the wrap party, that this was it for the Andy Griffith Show.
Ron Howard may have looked like Mayberry's sunniest kid on screen, but life behind those white picket fences was far less simple than the porch swings and fishing poles the show sold to America. The Andy Griffith Show, which premiered on CBS on October 3, 1960, and ran until April 1, 1968, delivering 249 half-hour episodes, 159 in black and white and 90 in color, created a cast of characters that felt like family. Sheriff Andy Taylor's calm authority, Don Knotts' frantic deputy Barney Fife, Frances Bavier's housewifely Aunt Bee, and a dozen memorable town eccentrics. What viewers didn't see was a set where egos, exacting standards, and private tempers simmered off camera. Ron was still a kid when he arrived, tutored between takes, clutching a toy turtle in his earliest scenes, and he learned fast that TV magic often masks real tension. He adored working with Andy Griffith and Don Knotts, but he quietly dreaded sharing scenes with Aunt Bee's actress, Frances Bavier. Her guarded privacy and insistence on doing things her way created friction that even Andy Griffith couldn't always smooth over. Fellow cast members later compared dealing with her to tiptoeing through a minefield. Griffith once tried to mend fences by visiting her unannounced, but instead of softening the rift, the gesture made things worse. For decades, that tension stayed hidden behind Mayberry's wholesome image, a reminder that even America's most beloved sitcom family had cracks in the foundation. Still, the show was unstoppable. It never ranked lower than 7th in the Nielsen ratings and ended its final season at number 1, a feat matched by only I Love Lucy and Seinfeld. Its legacy stretched into spin-offs like Gomer Pyle, USMC, a 1986 reunion movie, and an annual Mayberry Festival in Andy Griffith's hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Generations later, fans still cling to a fictional town that never really existed, built on nostalgia for a simpler life that was anything but simple behind the scenes. For Ron, Mayberry was only the beginning. After Opie, he stepped into Richie Cunningham's shoes on Happy Days, becoming a cornerstone of 1970s pop culture. But even while acting, he was already thinking beyond the camera. A clever deal with producer Roger Corman, trading acting in Eat My Dust for a shot at directing Grand Theft Auto in 1977, gave him his first big break as a filmmaker. From TV movies to the hit comedies Night Shift and Splash, Howard was steadily carving out a reputation for heartfelt, crowd-pleasing storytelling. Then came Apollo 13, a masterclass in tension and triumph, and A Beautiful Mind, which swept the Oscars, earning Howard Best Director and Best Picture. Success didn't come without backlash. Critics accused him of sanitizing John Nash's life for A Beautiful Mind, omitting darker truths to keep the narrative focused. Howard stood by his choices, but the controversy reminded him, and everyone else, that storytelling is a tightrope. Reveal too much, and you alienate audiences. Reveal too little, and you're accused of dishonesty. That lesson echoed years later when J.D. Vance, the subject of Howard's film adaptation of Hillbilly Elegy, entered politics with rhetoric that shocked the director. Howard, usually the calmest voice in the room, expressed quiet disappointment, a rare moment of public disapproval that proved even a seasoned Hollywood veteran can feel betrayed by someone he once tried to portray with empathy. Yet, through decades of triumphs and disappointments, Howard's private life told a different kind of story, one Hollywood doesn't often showcase. He and Cheryl Howard, who met as teenagers, celebrated their 50th anniversary in 2025. Their love story isn't loud or dramatic. It's built on shared dreams, mutual respect, and the simple act of choosing each other day after day. From late-night feedings to Oscar nights, from heartbreaks to road trips in that same mint green VW Beetle, from their first date, their marriage has been a quiet anchor in a noisy industry. What makes Howard remarkable isn't just his success, It's his steadiness. He doesn't rage when disappointed, doesn't boast when triumphant. He evolves. From swallowing pickles he hated in multiple takes for Aunt Bee's awful pickle episode to accepting an Oscar statue years later, Howard learned early that appearances rarely tell the whole story. Mayberry's warmth was real on screen but complicated behind it. And in life, as in film, people can surprise you, for better or worse. The story of Ron Howard is a reminder to look closer. Behind the smiles, the scripts, and the headlines are people making choices, facing tensions, and sometimes reconciling after years apart. It's a story of growth, forgiveness, and the power of storytelling itself. If you're fascinated by these behind-the-scenes truths and the hidden chapters of Hollywood's golden years, hit like, subscribe to the Backstage Eyes, ring that notification bell, and keep watching. Because the stories you think you know often have a whole other side. And the next one we uncover might just change the way you remember your favorite stars.